Hello everyone, thank you for coming back. It's lovely to see you. Today I thought we would practice our leaf shapes. Nice and straightforward, nice and loose, just to get you into the feel of painting nice loose leaf shapes that will really help you when you're doing your florals. So let's have a practice. And first of all, I'm going to tape down today. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit of washi tape at the top just to keep my watercolour paper in place. Now, this is 150 GSM watercolour paper. So it's a nice watercolour paper to use. You can get this at any stockists, really. So there we go. Now, I'm not going to wet the background of my paper because we're going to use one colour. So it's just going to be one colour and we're going to completely just keep repeating our leaf shapes. Excuse me. So I'm going to go in and use, this one is cobalt blue, which is a lovely colour. Now, when I'm doing just generic leaves, I just like to just do a line and then a line coming off. So effectively it's a stem and then a half moon and then another half moon, and then we fill it in. Don't have to be too precious at this. So again, put another line in, half moon gives us our shape. Now you can go from the bottom or the top. It's completely up to you. Let's put one up here. The middle line is just a guide to keep our half moons, so we can, and if you want a little flick on the end, you can. So again, I've put a little stem on there just to change it up a bit. Now I'm going down. If you can, use all the paint that is on your brush. So when you load your brush up, so you start off and it's going to be full of paint, so you'll have a stronger colour. Just let your paint run out, really. And then you go half moon, like that. So then we've got a nice graduated leaf. It's not all one colour, it gives us a point of interest. Again, going into went to the wrong colour paint there. Going into cobalt again. Not too thick, but I'm loading my brush up with lovely watery watercolour paint. Now I'm going to go that way. Half moon, and just fill it in. And again, half moon. Now this one is quite pale, but I don't mind that. We're practicing. Again, I'm going to load my brush up a bit more stronger colour. Don't forget to dab the excess off. And remember, we always go from light to dark in watercolour. This is just practicing. Doesn't have to be perfect, just to get you comfortable with making these shapes. Okay? And then just keep, and it's really therapeutic. Once you get into doing this, you find yourself just drifting away, really, and not just totally relaxing. There's no pressure on you. You just keep repeating. Okay, if you want to do the rinse our brush out, load our brush up again. If you want to turn your paper around because you find that's easier, absolutely do. Please do whatever makes it easy for you. I'm going to work in this corner. I'm going to bring it into my work. Again, half moon, half moon. If you want to take your guideline up to the top, great. Again, put a little tick on the end, a little flick, that's good. The longer you put your line, the bigger your leaf will be. Okay, so if you want a littler one, then I've just these are all little tips, hopefully, that will help you. Now, I'm getting to my paint is becoming lighter. Don't forget, you can go right to the edge, right to the edge. Your leaf is coming off the edge of the paper. I think that's really nice. Look, I'm going to turn that around. Don't be worried to keep having a look at it. Change it backwards and forwards. Again, I'm going to put one in there. Doesn't matter if you're not. I'm going to speed up a little bit so we can fill in as much of our leaves as we can. Now we're working straight out of the palette on this. We're not doing any colour mixing at all because we're not going to get bogged down with colour mixing at this stage. We just want to feel comfortable with making our shapes and getting familiar with loading our brush up with our watercolour paint. Now I'm going to put one there. You can put straight straight stems if you want to. I think that kind of looks nicer. I like to change mine out a bit. I'm putting a little stem in mine now, so that's where you would put your line. You can start. There we go. Now, as you can see, I've left some white spaces where I've moved quite quickly. There's no hard and fast rules. If you want to go back and fill that in so it's completely covered, then, you know, you can do that. You're the artist, you can do whatever you want. But sometimes it gives it a nice look if it's got a halo to it. And just work your way, covering your watercolour paper. Okay. Right down. Now it looks like we haven't got any watercolour on our brush, but we absolutely have. And as you can see, let's turn it upside down. Why not? Let's turn it upside down. Let's get different angles. Let's move it right. We'll come that way. And you don't have to start from the top. You can start from the bottom if you want to. And if you want to join that. Once you feel more comfortable, you don't have to do your guidelines in the middle. They're just there just to show you, keep your leaf shape so you can repeat it confidently without worrying, thinking, oh, I haven't, you know, I need it to be more precise. So, and then we just put one up there. And just keep working away. You can put as many in as you like, or as little. I like to do stronger values of the paint. I think that actually does work lovely, gives you a nice feel. We're not being at all precious with this, we're practicing just lovely rhythm with our shapes, our half moon and our guidelines. You know, I've put 2 flicks on that. Why not? You can do whatever you want. You can go back in and make it a stronger colour if you want to. It's totally up to you. Try not to have all your leaves going in the same direction. It'll make the composition of your work look more interesting. instead of seeing it all in a straight line. But just work away. This is something you could do. You could get your paints and your watercolour paper out, and it's something that we could you could paint along with me. And this is really, really nice to do. You can stop and start the video at any time, so you can work to the speed that you like to work to. And again, don't be afraid to go off the end of the paper. That's absolutely fine. Again, put a guideline in, half moon, and then either from the top and work down, or the top, bottom and work up. It's bleeding into the next leaf, not worried about that. That'll give us a nice effect. We kind of like that diffused look. And again, it's just about you being comfortable. If you go over the half moon guideline that you've got, don't worry, make your leaf bigger. Let's spin our work round again. Let's spin it round this way now. And again, you can make it as big a stem or as little a stem as you like. I think there's something quite nice when they're not all uniformed. I think it gives it a lovely painterly feel, which I think is a lovely effect to have. So you keep working away, and you can do it. You just need to be brave and just get your paints out, get your paper out. Try one colour. Could be any colour. Could be red if you like. It can be black. It can be absolutely any colour. Your favourite colour you could use, but just give yourself permission to do this and not have any expectation of, I want it to be brilliant. This is practice. Practice makes perfect. You just let yourself keep reproducing this lovely free leaf pattern that we're doing. There we are. Just you can take it right down to the bottom if you want to, or you can that was quite a strong colour, wasn't it? I loaded my brush up and it had lots of paint on, so it's a stronger colour. So I'm going to let my colour run out. I'm going over the top of that because why not? Why can't we do that? There's no law says we can't, so we are. I'm just going to put a little one in there, just a little, almost like a flick. So there we go. Half moon, don't forget. If you think, oh, I'm losing my shape again, don't forget, do your guideline. And then half moon, guideline, half moon, and come off the paper. It can be as close or as open as you want it to be, as you can use as many leaves as you want or not. So there's our guideline, half moon, take it up to the top, and then just fill in half moon, half moon, and then just fill in again. Let's run the paint down. There we go. I'm just going to drop one more little one in there. And that's quite a big stem on that one. That's fine. You can make it as with no stems, like here, if you feel more confident. But give this a go. It's a really good exercise to get free and to try to get into the lovely loose shapes for making our background leaves. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you visit me again really soon. Take care, and bye for now.